The Thing Remastered would shock the world as it was pretty much announced out of thin air with cropped in picture art of the game itself posted around social media, and a lot of people were quick to assume that it was the Thing that was getting remastered. This is basically a movie license game, and this would shock everybody that it got itself remastered from Night Dive Studios. Originally, the game was made from Computer Artworks and was published by Black Label Games on PC, but on consoles it was handled by Konami. It was on the original Xbox, PS2, and Windows. And it was said to have Game Boy Color, Game Boy Advance versions, but those were later cancelled. It was then remastered to modern systems, including PC, from Night Dive Studios. Now, even though the game received a couple of rewards and it was a commercial success and was going to get a sequel, it was canceled because the company Computer Artworks went to receivership in 2003, so a sequel wouldn't even be made after that. But let's talk about the game itself, The Thing. Not to be confused with the movie with the same title, this is a complete different setting or whatever. Though it is still part of the same universe as The Thing of the movie, it's actually a sequel to the movie itself. It's a third-person shooter where you use weapons like a submachine gun, pistol, shotgun, flamethrowers, you name it. You also have a squad where you can control them by giving them some commands to like repair some power stuff, or perhaps you can get healing from them and help you fight and follow or maybe stay in a position. But the thing is about the squad mates is that when you first see them in the game, the first level gives you this little training level or like the idea as to how you control your squad mates. If you get them ammo or anything else like that, like a weapon, they'll gain your trust. But if you start taking away some of their stuff, they'll begin not to trust you. And when your trust meter goes low with any of the squad members, they'll disobey your order. There's also a fear level from these people that you try to recruit, and it's not that great because they'll try to act out of character for themselves and they'll be unpredictable. And just to be aware, yes, there is friendly fire in the game, if asking, so they went more of a realistic approach with this thing. But yeah, your idea is get your squad mates some ammo and whatnot, and stay alive. Sometimes you might have to do stuff by yourself, but make sure you're well supplied, and then you'll be able to fight the creatures. I recommend the flamethrower on the creatures, as that's one of the key parts to how you defeat them. But once you start lowering the enemy's health, like the big giant mutant ones, you're going to have to start using a flamethrower as well. That way you can kill them for good. But there are going to be obstacles in the way, so you have to watch out for all that stuff. But I should mention that The Thing, the original version of this game on the original Xbox, can be played on your Xbox 360, but not on the other Xboxes unless you get the remastered version. Now the remastered version itself, it's supposed to contain cut content and bug fixes, but I don't know what the cut content is, so you guys might have to do a little expertise on that since I never really played the original. I've always heard about this game being underrated, but I never got around to getting the game until I heard the remastered version came out. But I should mention one little bug in the game. Is that when you go in first person mode and then you switch back to third person, your characters seem to clip out, so it's a little clipping issue when it comes to your character model itself. But it's a quick fix by going back to first person and then going back to third person again. Now the reason I say first person is because there's a first person mode where you don't move or anything, it's just for more aiming. If you use the aim thing in first person, you could get more accurate shots on your enemies, or you could do it by crouching, which can also pretty much help. So it's like that. You're gonna need to like try to find out how to survive in the game, or find out where to go and whatever. And by the way, when you go outside, you can't stay forever, because all dumb stuff will happen, and they warn you in the beginning of the game that you shouldn't stay outside forever, because dumb stuff will always happen. But I should mention another bug that I got into with the game. Sometimes your allies don't move even though they are already given the option to move regardless. I actually discovered this early in the game, so I had to go back to my previous save data, and that somehow fixed it. I have no idea. I'm getting this feeling like the Night Dive has been rushing out the remasters as of late ever since Atari acquired them and they raised their price tag to $30. Look, I don't hate Night Dive. I like their stuff, but their latest releases has been giving me this rush feeling from them. I got two prime examples. The Doom 1 and 2 enhanced. One of the hazard thing was when it showed up green, like the original game, and I have no idea why. Another one is Killing Time, which if I actually played, but I got into this game-breaking bug where I couldn't even play the game anymore because when I placed the faces on the thing where they insert, even though I died, I can't progress the game any further, making the game unbeatable. I addressed this back in launch day online, but I read the patch notes and I have found nothing remotely related to that. And I have no idea how they have still not fixed that problem. But that's just me. It's not that their remasters are bad. I just wish some of them were more polished. But at least this game is playable and not unbreakable like Killing Time was when it came to the bug problems. It's not to say that Killing Time's a bad remaster. I just found it to be a game-breaking issue. And I wish that they would have responded to this whole thing a lot sooner than late. If they even do respond to these feedback. And we're not going to fight monsters, not just that. You're going to also fight some human soldiers. And trust me, they can be a bit aggressive, including the flamethrower guys, so you're going to have to use some sort of strategy. Sometimes you can try to find a way to get the soldiers to fight the monsters themselves. Yes, the soldiers can actually fight the monsters, so at least it doesn't look like they're teaming up on you, like any other game would. Oh, hey monster, you want to team up with me? Oh, sure, let's go kick this player's butt. You don't get any of that in here, so that's a good thing about that. And I do like how this game still lives up to its realism in terms of the gameplay. But I will just say, you're going to probably get like around 3 to 5 hours of playtime when it comes to this game. I say I was more shocked on the playtime because I managed to beat this on launch day, which took me a bit by surprise. But overall, you're not going to get any music in this game, but that's just because it's meant to be scary, so I'm not going to like judge on that. I mean, Alien Resurrection had no music, and it was still meant to be scary. You were still supposed to like try to look out to see if there's any monsters there in here. But the achievements in this game are pretty easy to get. But there's like a little bit of them that would be hard to get. But again, they're still easy to get anyhow. So I did play this game in your Xbox Series version, just for those who wants to know that. But it looks great and it plays great. But yeah, I think the grenades too also add in the realism, because the longer you hold the grenade button, the higher you can throw it, or like the furthest you throw it, and then you can get a lot of stuff into that. But yeah, there's a lot of loot you can find pretty easily. But sometimes it's hard to access because you need certain people to open some doors and whatever. So it's something to keep in mind. But the key part is, keep your squad alive if you can. Give them the best weapon you can. Oh, and you can carry two of the same weapon at the same time. Okay, not in terms of using it, but you can give it to a squad mate and you can get them ammo. That's like the key thing you should know about. So definitely keep this in mind if you want to survive with your squad mates. And here's another thing. I've already mentioned about the trust in the game, but that's where it also comes in. Because there's these bloodshot guns or whatever where you can inject it. You can inject your buddy or potential buddy's blood into the thing. If they are safe, well, if it doesn't break at least, then that means they're not infected or, well, potentially a monster. But if they somehow had the thing broken, that means they're infected and you're going to have to fight them off. So not everyone in the game is your friend. So that's just something for you guys to keep in mind. This game can be unpredictable at times if it wants it to be. But that's just something I would just say. So you got to be really prepared when it comes to some of the stuff that you see in the game. I know a lot of people like this game from what I always heard, but sometimes the enemies can be a bit predictable at best. I've always seen this because every time I see an event, I know, like, okay, there's going to be an enemy coming out, and of course the enemy comes out of it anyway. But yeah, there's going to be some air ducts you might have to like go into, because there's some places you're still going to have to try to access. But again, not a bad game. I actually do think the gameplay is fun and addictive as well. I think if there was like some sort of like action shooter game that uses the same gameplay mechanics as this will also be a lot of fun. But I don't know if the gameplay like this fits in a survival horror game. But I will say it is fun to play regardless of the genre. But yeah, there's like plenty of places to go in this game, and there's some objectives you're gonna have to try to do. There was a few times where I kind of didn't read the objectives. Well, I mean, I did. I just, you know, it just happens. It happens every time. It happens so fast in the game because you're doing a lot of stuff and you're trying to worry about surviving and whatever. But I think you'll have a best time playing this game for those who haven't even played this game as of yet.